Although far from being the greatest story ever told, Dragon Quest Adventure of Dai remains a fantastic case study of the goods and bads of a typical action-adventure plot filled with heart. When I had first read this early on in my youth, Adventure of Dai gave me the same sense of wonder that the early arcs of Dragon Ball did, exploring a vast world filled with troubled but colorful characters. With its blend of youthful aspiration and surprisingly engaging combat, Adventure of Dai remains, at least for me, a very solid series with the feelings of nostalgia probably pushing it more towards a 9 than a 7. In recent times, anime has become much easier to produce en masse, with the refinement of techniques and technologies year after year. What that means is that there are now more series coming out per year than ever before. Not only does that mean we now have more space to adapt series that would probably fly under the radar, this also means we have more opportunities to revisit old series who have already received an anime. The original Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai anime first came out in 1992, and while it never quite got traction in the West, it was rather popular within the confines of Japan. This isn't particularly surprising if we compare how popular the game sharing the same name is in the country of Japan relative to the rest of the world. So when a new anime was coming out a la Brotherhood, this was a surprise for me, not because it didn't deserve it, but because I never thought that it would. To be frank, the original anime is hard to watch, not because it is bad or inaccurate to its source material, at least up until the last few episodes, but simply because it's old and you end up thinking to yourself, I can be watching pretty much anything else. It's still somewhat endearing, as it reminds me of the old animes that I used to watch as a kid with its traditional anime style, but considering the plot is already known to me, I admittedly wasn't able to watch more than a handful of episodes. Dragon Quest 2020, however, is a joy to watch. Colorful, lively, and modern, but without deviating too far from the original art style, are all characteristics that have made this new Dragon Quest particularly enjoyable to watch on a semi-consistent basis. The action is on par with the same scenes that I had imagined while reading as a kid. The world is as cheery as I pictured. The characters jump from goofy to badass, like I remembered. The 2020 anime is the adaptation that the series deserves. I am not so blinded by nostalgia to think that this is the best anime of its time, though I do think it's a rather good one. In the truest sense, this anime may not speak to most, as the plot and universe may not be appealing to everyone. However, if we take it at face value, this is an incredible gift to those original fans of the series who never got to see it in this medium at this level of quality. Additionally, although I am not one that feels that an anime should be a one-to-one carbon copy of a manga, the accuracies to its source material is also rather enjoyable to view. The music would not necessarily have been my first choice, but upon hearing it and experiencing it multiple times, I've grown to see how fitting it is to the world of Dai and ultimately enjoyed it. Again, I come to think of how accurate the word fitting is. Everything from the visuals to the sounds just work for this Dragon Quest story. All this praise for the series does not make me oblivious to some of its shortcomings. For one, I believe that the pace of the show can at times be glacial, but once again I find myself much more forgiving if we consider the era from which the series is from. Simply put, the writing is good, but probably won't impress. At the end of the day, I'm not saying that you have to go out and watch the series. I am, however, saying that if given the opportunity to watch something, why not give this a try? It's an enjoyable watch both for young newcomers to the series and nostalgic fans of the story. And if you think about it, isn't that all we're looking for? That's all from me, Manga for Dummies, and I hope you enjoyed.